Well, greetings to all my investment clients. My name is Walter Meziers, your wealth manager, CPA tax advisor. Today I'm doing a special recording for Wigilia Polish Christmas Eve traditions. Just want to share with you memories that I have as a child when I was growing up in Poland. I think most of you know that I was born in Poland, came here when I was 9 in the year 1966. And our celebration, I was born on a farm, so it was very, very unique celebration that pretty much I remember this today very vividly. It's almost like a film that's recorded in my head. So every time Christmas time, or especially Wigilia comes around, that brings beautiful, amazing memories for me. So obviously celebrated December 24th. It's probably the most important celebration in Polish homes, especially back in the old country, but even here in the United States, as traditions passed on through generations. So especially first generation who immigrated from Poland, such as me, definitely celebrate that tradition. And second, third generation Poles also very, very interested in celebrating those Polish traditions of Wigilia, Christmas Eve. What is the meaning of Wigilia? It comes from the Latin word vigilia, meaning watch or vigil. So represents waiting for Christ's birth. It's a night of reflection and unity. Prior to Christmas, obviously we have Advent in Catholic Church. And in Poland, Advent was really a time of reflection. We did not listen to music. Obviously, there was no dancing. There was obviously no drinking because it was a preparation time for Christ's birth. So a little different, more unique. Here in the United States, a little different. Right after Thanksgiving, the Christmas season almost starts. In Poland, that's also changing. But back when I was a kid, that was pretty normal and pretty strict. In other words, hey, don't listen to music. Just reflect and prepare yourself for Christ's birth. The importance, it is extremely important in Polish culture. Again, it's probably the most significant celebration of the year, and some people say it's more festive and more celebrated than actual Christmas Day. Focus on family reconciliation, observed even by non-religious families in Poland or even here. Again, it's about the tradition. So when does Wigilia start? Obviously, it's December 24th, the day before Christmas, but the first star, in Polish, pierwsza gwiazda. So dinner begins when the first star appears, and it symbolizes Star of Bethlehem. And children traditionally watch the sky. I remember as a kid in Poland, we would watch through the window or sometimes go outside and, wait for when it gets darker. And once we see the first star, we would run back in and say, Mom, Dad, the first star is shining. And that would be a symbol to start the Wigilia tradition, celebration. Preparing the home for Christmas or Wigilia, extremely, extremely important that the house was cleaned before Wigilia. Decorations placed carefully. Christmas tree very often was decorated the same day. Again, because of Advent, that was a somber, more celebration, preparation for the birth of Christ. And so Christmas tree, I remember as a kid in Poland, we didn't decorate the Christmas tree until Christmas Eve. And my dad would go, since we lived on a farm, there was forest in the area, he would go out and chop a tree, usually a day before, and bring it, and then put it either outside, and then we would bring it in the house Christmas Eve and start decorating the Christmas tree. Again, where I lived, actually, we had no electricity, so we used candles that had pins. You would pin it on the Christmas tree and Christmas ornaments, as you can see right here in the picture. This was kind of traditional decorations, especially in the region that I lived. The Wigilia table, again, white tablecloth symbolizes purity. Hay was placed under the cloth, recalls the manger, or sometimes you had hay on the table and then baby Jesus on the hay, again representing the manger. And candles represent the light of Christ. Also, in Polish tradition, you would also set an empty place, an empty seat at the table, and it's a symbol of hospitality and honors deceased loved ones or unexpected guests. So if you were to walk into any Polish home that celebrates Wigilia, you would definitely see an empty chair, and you would be welcomed to sit in that chair as an unexpected guest. Again, before celebration of Wigilia starts, traditional scripture reading. Reading from the Gospel of Luke describes the birth of Jesus. You read it aloud before sharing opłatek, and it's often led or read by the eldest family member. Sharing the opłatek, which is a white wafer. It's a thin, blessed wafer, and typically you would get it, either at store and then go to church, get it blessed. Shared after scripture reading. Family members exchange wishes. It's a moment of forgiveness and emotion. So if there were some bad feelings between family members, this was time to reconcile and share, forgiveness and wish each other typically, good health, prosperity for the new year. Rules of the Wigilia meal: no meat dishes served. Again, that was a very strict tradition. Fish are permitted. Meal is slow and respectful, so you're not rushing, eating all the courses that you have, and everyone tastes at each dish. And again, Polish tradition, you have 12 dishes, which represents the 12 apostles, also linked to the 12 months of the year. It ensures good fortune and abundance. So obviously 12 dishes, and I'll talk a little bit later. Each region may differ, which 12 dishes you may have on the table. Obviously that's a lot of food, so typically you just take small pieces of something, so you don't overeat. The food is amazing. We do the preparation usually 2-3 days prior, pierogi and other dishes for Wigilia. Traditional Wigilia foods, soups are a big part. Barsz, which is red borscht, with łóżka, which dumplings that are stuffed with mushrooms. Again, no meat. You could have a mushroom soup. It's more a regional alternative, but where I grew up, it was white borscht with mushrooms. So these dishes were more on the lighter side, but very symbolic dishes during Wigilia. What other traditional Wigilia foods? Main dishes: carp, which is right here. That was very, very popular in Poland. It's fried, baked. in my region, fish really were not abundant, and we didn't have access, on the farm. So I, as a child in Poland, didn't eat carp until moved to the United States. And my wife, actually, she's from the north, Szczecin, and she introduced that tradition to our family here in the United States. I would say pierogi with sauerkraut and mushrooms, and kapusta, or sauerkraut with mushrooms. Again, traditional Wigilia foods. So you've finished your main courses, and now it's dessert time. So very popular poppy seed cake, makowiec, which is right here, which would be like a roll. Kutia, which is a regional Eastern Poland dish. It's typically poppy seed. You have raisins and nuts, probably an acquired taste. And then obviously piernik, like a loaf, which is gingerbread, and usually you will have chocolate on top, glaze, and in between like prune butter. The other big tradition in Wigilia is dried fruit compote, which is like a fruit punch. It can be served at the end of the meal or during the meal. It's made from dried apples, pears, plums. It kind of aids that digestion and symbolizes sweetness. Now, it's an acquired taste. You can spice it with other, like cinnamon and lemon, or also oranges. So each region kind of did their own according to taste. But as I said, this is definitely an acquired taste that not everybody is willing to try. Atmosphere of Wigilia, it's quiet, peaceful. No loud music, arguments. Obviously, no television. Often is turned off unless you're watching some Christmas celebration, or in our family, our house, we actually have Polish TV, which then streams Polish Christmas carols, pasterka. So that's the only thing pretty much we would watch after Wigilia, or doing as we're exchanging presents. So Polish Christmas carols, kolendy, obviously that's a huge tradition. It's sung after dinner, passed on orally through generations. So way back, many people in Poland couldn't read or write, but they passed it on orally to their next generation. Examples of very popular Christmas carols, Polish Christmas carols. Well, Cicha Silent Night, not exactly, but it's not exactly Polish, but it's very popular. Bóg się rodzi, Lularze Jezuniu, and there's many more. Wśród noc najciszy. Poland has rich Christmas carols that are sung throughout not only Christmas Eve, but then Christmas Day, and till February 3rd. Now, in our house, I do have some. I do play the accordion and piano, so sometimes I'll take out the accordion and play, as we're singing Christmas carols, to kind of keep the Polish tradition going here in the good old USA. Gift-giving traditions. In Polish tradition, actually, gifts are exchanged after dinner, so Christmas Eve. Sometimes after midnight mass, the focus on thoughtfulness over value. So again, my daughters, actually, we do exchange Christmas Eve, but then they leave some for the morning, trying to keep the American tradition that presents are opened Christmas Day in the morning. Midnight Mass, pasterka, obviously begins at midnight, Christmas Eve. Commemorates shepherds visiting Jesus. It's highly attended and festive. Lately, we've been going for the past 2 years to Sweetest Heart of Mary. which is downtown on Russell Street, I think, pretty close to Easter Market. They have an amazing Pasterka celebration. The church is absolutely spectacular. So if you've never been to Sweetest Heart of Mary, the Mass is bilingual, mostly in English, and they sing Polish Christmas carols and some American, also traditional Christmas carols. So Pasterka is almost a must. I remember as a child back in Poland, we had about a half an hour hike from where we lived in the village to our church. And I remember walking. It was an amazing, amazing sight. The entire village would walk, sometimes blistering cold. But it was something that was as an amazing experience. Walking, you could hear when it was extremely cold. You could actually hear the crunch as you're walking of snow under your feet. So just I can almost imagine that right now, me walking to Pasterka back in Poland as a 6-7-year-old. Beautiful, beautiful memories. Regional differences. There are some regional dishes that sometimes, as I mentioned, in our region, we didn't have fish. Where my wife grew up, northern part of Poland, fish was a big thing. And there was also some local dishes that were not common in other areas. Where we lived, it was boiled potatoes, whole potatoes cut up in pieces, and then you sauteed onions with butter, and then you would put the sauteed onions and butter on your potatoes, and then with kapusta. Again, northern part of Poland, that was not that traditional, but in Majnaka Woods in Poland, that was very, and I still try to keep that tradition back here at our home. Wigilia outside of Poland. So as I mentioned, it's observed by Polish families worldwide. So if in the United States, people, Polish people have immigrated throughout the entire world. Here in the United States, obviously second, third generation Poles definitely celebrate Wigilia. They want to keep those traditions going as long as they can. Core values of Wigilia. It's really family, unity, forgiveness, and peace, hospitality, and generosity. It's such a special feeling when you have family and you're sitting around the table and wishing everyone good health. It's an amazing, amazing celebration that hopefully will carry for future generations, that my girls will remember those memories forever. So, conclusion, Wigilia connects past and present, a celebration of faith, family, and tradition, one of Poland's most cherished customs. So, I hope you enjoyed my presentation, my experiences of Wigilia and Christmas traditions that I celebrated back in Poland as a child, and obviously we continue celebrating here in the United States. So thank you for watching. Again, Merry, Merry Christmas, a blessed Christmas, and a happy and healthy New Year to all my clients. Thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll see you soon.